The olden days, we just opened the book. That's
Yes.
more complicated.
Yeah.
Hidden treasure.
Om Tavakatamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Shri Madatatam Bhuvi Gridanti Ye Burida Janaha. So last week we started with the short biography that M had written as part of his introduction to the original Bengali. And then after that, we have the very first chapter of the Kathamrita of the first volume. And it starts with the whole first chapter is basically just a description of Dakshineswar. And we know it's important to M, partly because he put it as the first chapter, but also in the Shrima Darshan, which is one of his disciples who has M listened to Thakur speaking. He listened to M speaking for many years and wrote it in. I think there's like 16 volumes. And in one of the scenes, I think M, maybe it's like 1915 or 1920, he's on the roof of the Morton School. And someone who had just come, a newcomer had just come. And so he brought out the Kathamrita, the first volume, and had him read. And he had him read the biography. And then he said, now, let's go to Dakshineswar. So he had him read. Before reading the first darshan that M has with Thakur, he wanted, to have that. And again, the thing about the Bengali is that it's so much in the present tense, and it's such a meditation. So M is setting the scene so you can visualize the meditation and the lila. So it starts. Chapter 1. Kali's home and the garden. Today is Sunday. The devotees have leisure, so they are coming in group after group to Kali's home in Dakshineswar to meet with Sri Paramahamsa Dev. The door is open to everyone. Thakur is talking with all who arrive, sadhus, paramahamsas, Hindus, Christians, Brahmagyanis, Shaktas, Vaishnavas, men, women. Everyone is coming. Blessed you are, Rani Rasmani. It is because of your piety that this beautiful abode of the gods has been established. And then there is this living image of worship. People may come, encounter, and worship this great soul. The Chantani and 12 Shiva temples. Kali's home is about 5 miles, 2.5 krosh north of Kolkata, right on the Ganga. After getting down from the boat, you must enter Kali's home by facing east and climbing up the broad steps. On this ghat, Paramahamsadev would take his bath. Beyond the steps is a roof-covered terrace, a chantani. The temple guards stay there. Their rope cots, mango wood chests, and 1 or 2 water pots are laying here and there. When the local babus come from for their Ganga bath, some sit here in the chantani and chat while they massage themselves with oil. Of all the sadhus, fakirs, Vaishnavas, and Vaishnavis who come to receive the consecrated food, prasad, at the guest house, some wait here in the chantani for the bell announcing the food offering. From time to time, an ochre-robed Bhairavi holding a trishul can be seen sitting at this spot. She, too, will go to the guest house when it is time. The chantani is exactly in the middle of the 12 Shiva temples, 6 temples just to the north and 6 just to the south. Pilgrims on the boats see these 12 temples from a distance and say, "That's Rasmani's temple." The tiled courtyard in Vishnu temple. To the east of the chantani and the 12 temples is a tiled courtyard. In the middle of the courtyard, side by side, are 2 temples. To the north is the temple of Radhakanta. Just to the south is Mother Kali's temple. In the temple of Radhakanta are the images of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna facing west. You must climb steps to reach the temple. The floor of the temple is laid in marble. In the stone terrace at the front of the temple there is a chandelier hanging. It is not in use now, so that it is protected by a covering of red cloth. A doorkeeper is guarding. In the afternoon, the western sun hits the deities and becomes bothersome, so canvas shades are provided. The terrace's series of open archways are covered. In the southeast corner of the terrace is a large earthen pot of Ganga water. Near the temple doorway is a container of Charnamrita. After coming and bowing to the deities, devotees will sip some of that Charnamrita. Inside the temple, the images of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna are enthroned. Sri Ramakrishna was first engaged in priestly duties in this temple, 1857-58, according to the Christian calendar. Shri Shri Bhavatarani Ma Kali. In the southern temple is a beautiful stone image of Kali. Mother's name is Bhavatarani, she who saves the universe. The floor of the temple is made of white and black marble, and steps lead up to a raised altar. On the altar is a 1,000-petaled lotus made of silver. Upon that is Shiva. Shiva is lying, head toward the south, feet toward the north. Shiva's image is made of white stone. Upon his heart, clothed in Varanasi silk and adorned with various ornaments, is this beautiful 3-eyed stone image of Shama Kali. On her lotus feet are anklets, Nupur, Gujari, Pancham, Panjeb, and toe rings, Chutki, and also hibiscus flowers and bilva leaves. The Punjab anklets are worn by the ladies from western India. Paramahamsadev had a great desire, so Mathur Babu procured them. Around Mother's arms are convex broad gold bangles, bauti, amulets, tabij, and so forth. On her forearms are thick round bracelets, bala, gold bracelets in a coconut floral pattern, narkel ful, gold braided bracelets, panche, and bauti. On her upper arms, wire, tar, tabij, and armlets, baju. The tabij has a dangling pendant attached. Around her neck is a choker, a pearl necklace with 7 strands, a gold necklace of 32 strands, a string of stars, and a garland of severed heads made of gold. On her head is a crown, and on her ears are large hoop earrings, konbala, flat disc earrings, konpasha, floral chandelier earrings, ful junko, and fish-shaped earrings, chodani. On her nose is a nose ring set with the pendant. In the three-eyed goddess's two left hands are a human head and sword, and the right hand offers boons and fearlessness. Around her waist is a girdle of human arms. So in actuality, the image of Kali at Dakshineswar does not have the girdle of severed arms, per the instructions of Rani Rasmani. But M wouldn't have known that fact, since he would have never seen the image of Kali undressed. So, around her waist, a waist chain, nimpal, and a waist belt, kumarpata. In the temple's northeastern corner is a beautiful bed where Mother rests. On the side of the wall is a yak-tail fan, chamar, is hanging. How many times Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna took this chamar and fanned Mother? Upon the altar, the lotus seat made of silver. Upon the altar, on the lotus seat made of silver, is water in a glass. At the base are several rows of small vessels. In them is Shama's drinking water. Upon the lotus seat to the west is a lion made of 8 metals. In the east, an iguana and a trident. In the southeast, the agnikona is a female fox. In the south is a bull of black stone. And in the northeast, the ishankona is a swan. On the steps leading up to the altar, on a small silver throne, is a Narayana Shila. On the one side is a statue made of 8 metals, the image of baby Ramachandra, bearing the name of Ramlala, presented to Paramahamsadev by a sannyasin, and a Baneshwara Shiva lingam. There are also other deities. The image of the goddess faces south. Exactly in front of Bhavatarani, that is exactly south of the altar, the sacred water pot, the ghat, has been established. The consecrated ghat is colored with vermilion, and at the end of puja it is decorated with various flowers and adorned with flower garlands. On one side of the wall is a copper watering can full of water for Mother to wash her face. Above, within the shrine's ciborium, behind the image, hangs a beautiful Varanasi silk cloth. In the 4 corners of the altar are pillars of silver. Above is the precious ciborium. Because of it, the beauty of the image has been enhanced. The temple is well protected by the dual-pillared terrace's heavy double doors. Near one door, a guard sits. At the doors of the temple, in 5 vessels, is the holy Charnamrita. The temple is ornamented by 9 spires in the Navaratna style of Bengali architecture. Below are 4 spires, in the middle are 4, and on top of all of them is 1. One spire now remains broken. In this temple, and in the Radhakanta temple, Paramahamsadev performed worship. The Nath Mandir. In front of the Kali temple, that is, toward the south, is the beautiful expansive dance hall, Nath Mandir. Atop the Nath Mandir, Sri Sri Mahadev, Nandi, and Bringi. Before entering the temple, Thakur Ramakrishna would salute Mahadev with joined hands, as if taking his permission before entering the temple. Running north to south along the Nath Mandir are 2 rows of very high pillars. Above them is the roof. To the east and west of the rows of pillars are the 2 sections of the Nath Mandir. At the time of worship and great festivals, especially Kali Puja Day, there are theatrical performances in the Nath Mandir. In this Nath Mandir, Rasmani's son-in-law, Mathur Babu, at Sri Ramakrishna's instruction, performed the Dhanya Meru ritual. This is a ritual where you have these giant mountains of rice that are prepared. Usually there's a giant one of a certain number of weight of kilograms and then 4 other ones. So 5 mountains of rice, and then it's distributed to the poor as a charity. In this same Nath Mandir, in front of everyone, Thakur Sri Ramakrishna worshipped Bhairavi. The pantries, kitchens, guest house, and place of sacrifice. On the western side of the rectangular courtyard are the 12 Shiva Temples, and on the other 3 sides are single-story rooms. Among the rooms on the eastern side are the pantry, the luchi-making room, Vishnu's kitchen, the room for preparing offerings, Mother's kitchen, the cook's kitchen, and the guest house. If guests or sadhus do not eat at the guest house, then they must go to the manager in the records office. If the manager gives the order, sadhus take straight from the pantry. South of the Nath Mandir is the place of sacrifice. The food for the Vishnu temple is vegetarian. The food for the Kali temple is from a separate kitchen. In front of the kitchen, maidservants are cutting fish on large cutting tools. On the new moon, a male goat is sacrificed. This tradition is the goat sacrifice has now been stopped at Dakshineswar. The food is offered within 2 prahars, i.e. before noon. Meanwhile, in the guest house, one by one, taking food on sal-leaf plates, row after row of beggars, Vaishnavas, sadhus, and guests sit down. Brahmins have been given a separate place. Brahmin employees also have separate seats. The manager is given prasad in his room. When the babus of Jan Bazar, in other words, the relatives and family of Rani Rasmani, when the babus of Jan Bazar come, they stay in the kuti. The prasad is sent there. The office rooms. South of the courtyard are rows of rooms, the office rooms and the employees' dwelling places. The manager and the clerk are always here, and the storekeeper, the male and female servants, the priests, the female cooks, the male Brahmin cooks, etc., as well as the guards, are always coming and going. Some of the rooms are locked. The temple's furniture, carpets, canopies, etc. are kept in there. A few of the rooms in this row would be used for pantries on the occasion of Paramahamsadev's birthday celebrations. On the grounds south of them, cooking was done for great festivals. North of the courtyard is a line of single-story rooms. Exactly in the middle of them is the main gate. Like at the Chantni, there too guards are keeping watch. When entering at either place, you will have to first leave your shoes outside. Thakur Sri Ramakrishna's room. Exactly in the northwest corner of the courtyard, that is exactly north of the 12 Shiva temples, is Sri Sri Paramahamsadev's room. Exactly west of the room is a semicircular veranda. On that veranda, Sri Ramakrishna would face west and behold the Ganga. Just beyond this veranda is a path. West of that is a flower garden, and after that the embankment. Just beyond that is the clear, flowing, all holy places containing, sweetly murmuring Ganga. Nahabat, Bakutal, and Panchavati. Exactly north of Paramahamsadev's room is a rectangular veranda, and north of that a garden path. North of that is another flower garden. Just beyond that is the music pavilion, the Nahabat. In the lower room of the Nahabat lived his most venerable elderly mother, now deceased, and later Sri Sri Ma, Sri Sharada Devi. Just beyond the Nahabat is the Medlar tree area, Bakultal, and the Bakultala Ghat. Here the ladies of the neighborhood bathe. At this ghat, Paramahamsadev's elderly mother passed away touching the Ganga in 1877, according to the Christian calendar. A little further north of the Bakultala is a grove of 5 sacred trees, Panchavati. Here at the foot of the Panchavati, Paramahamsadev sat and performed many spiritual practices, and more recently would always stroll here with the devotees. Sometimes he would rise in the deep of night and go to that place. The Panchavati's 5 trees, banyan, peepal, neem, amlaki, and bale, were planted under Thakur's own supervision. Coming back from Sri Vrindavan, he scattered its dust here. Just to the east of this Panchavati, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna had a hut constructed, and to it he came and contemplated much on God, and performed many austerities. Recently this hut has been rebuilt out of brick. Within the area of the Panchavati is an old banyan tree. Along with it is a peepal tree. The two have merged and have become like one. The aged tree has many holes which have become the dwelling places of various birds and other beings. Around its base, connected with steps, is a beautifully adorned circular brick platform. Seated at the northwestern point on that platform, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna performed many spiritual practices, and like a cow yearning for her calf, in the same way how he would call out with yearning to Bhagavan. Today, upon that holy seat, a branch of the peepal tree, the banyan tree's companion, has broken and fallen. But the branch is not completely broken off. It remains half clinging to the original tree. Perhaps no great soul has yet been born to sit on that seat. Jautola, Beltola, and Kuti. Further north of the Panchavati there is an iron wire fence. On the other side of the fence is the tamarisk tree area, the Jautola. 4 tamarisk trees in rows. A little east of the Jautala is the Bale tree area, Beltala. Here, too, Paramahamsadev performed many difficult spiritual practices. Just beyond the Jautala and the Beltala is a high wall. North of that is the government's gunpowder storage facility. Going out of the main gate of the courtyard and facing north, a 2-storied residence, the Kuti, can be seen. When Rani Rasmani, her son-in-law Matru Babu, or other relatives came to the temple, they would stay in the Kuti. During their lifetime, Paramahamsadev would stay in this Kuti in a downstairs room on its western side. From this room, one can go to the Bakutala Ghat, and from there is a fine view of the Ganga. Dishwashing Ghat, the Gazitala, and 2 gates. Going east along the path that runs between the courtyard gate and the Kuti, on the right there is a beautiful brick-lined pond with a ghat. Just to the east of Mother Kali's temple, this pond has a ghat for dishwashing, and not far along the aforementioned path there is another ghat. Situated on the side of the path near that ghat there is a tree, and that spot is called the Gazitala. It's the tomb of a Muslim saint. If you go east along that path a bit, there is again a gate, the main gate coming out of the garden. People of Alambazar or Calcutta come and go through this gate. People of Dakshineswar come through the back gate. People of Calcutta usually enter through this main gate. There too a gatekeeper sits guarding. When Paramahamsadev would come back to the Kali temple from Calcutta in the deep of night, then this gatekeeper would unlock the gate. Paramahamsadev would call the gatekeeper, take him to his room, and give him luchis, sweets, and Lord's prasad. Hanspukur, stables, cowshed, and flower garden. East of the Panchavati is another pond called the Duck Pond, Hanspukur. Northeast of that pond in the corner are the stables and the cowshed. East of the cowshed is the rear gate. Through this gate you are able to go to Dakshineswar village. The priests and employees who have brought their families and settled in Dakshineswar village come and go through this gate, as do their children. From the southern end of the garden to the Bakul Tala and Panchavati in the north, a path runs along the bank of the Ganga. On both sides of that path are flowering trees. Also along both sides of the path that runs east-west by the south side of the Kuti, there are flowering trees. In the piece of land that stretches from the Gazitala to the cowshed, east of the Kuti and the Hanspukur, there are various species of flowering trees, fruit trees, and another pond. Very early at dawn, when the eastern sky has not yet turned crimson, when the honey-sweet sounds of morning arati linger, and dawn ragas and raginis are being played on the shinai, then it is in Mother Kali's garden the collecting of flowers begins. On the edge of the Ganga, in front of the Panchavati, are bale trees and fragrant plumeria trees. Sri Ramakrishna loves jasmine, Hiptij, Madhavi, and plumeria very much. He brought the Madhavi from Vrindavan and planted it. On the land east of the Hanspukur and the Kuti, beside the pond, is a champak tree. A short distance away are chandelier hibiscus, junka jaba, roses and orchid trees. Upon the fence are vines of butterfly pea, aparajita. Nearby in places are Indian jasmine, juhi, and coral jasmine, shefalika. Along the western side of the 12 Shiva temples are white oleander, red oleander, rose, Indian jasmine, and Arabian jasmine, bale. Here and there are datura. Mahadev's worship will be done. Here and there are holy basil plants, tulsi. They have been planted high in traditional brick planters, mancha. South of the Nahabat are Arabian jasmine, Indian jasmine, gardenia, and rose. Not far from the brick-lined ghat are lotus oleander, Patmakarabi, and the kukuai flower, Kuki Laksha. Beside Paramahamsadev's room are 1 or 2 royal point sienna trees, Krishnachura. And in and around the area are Arabian jasmine, Indian jasmine, gardenia, roses, jasmine, hibiscus, white oleander, red oleander, 5-faced hibiscus, and Chinese hibiscus. Sri Ramakrishna at one time used to pick flowers. One day he was picking bale leaves from a bale tree that was in front of the Panchavati. As he went to pick the bale leaf, a portion of the tree's bark came off. Then he had the realization, who knows how much pain had been caused to to the one who is present in all beings. From that moment he was not able to pick bay leaves. Another day he was walking about picking flowers when it was suddenly revealed to him that each one of the blossoming trees was like a bouquet of flowers, beautifully adorning this universal form of Shiva, as if day and night he is being worshipped. After that day, there was no more flower picking for him. The veranda of Thakur Sri Ramakrishna's room. To the east of Paramahamsadev's room is a veranda. A portion of the veranda opens towards the courtyard, that is, it faces south. On this veranda, Paramahamsadev would often sit with devotees and speak words related to God, or chant the holy names, Sankirtan. The other half of this eastern veranda faces north. On this veranda, the devotees would come and celebrate his birthday, and would sit with him and chant Sankirtan. Also, how many times he would sit together with them and take prasad. Respected Keshav Chandra Sen came to this veranda with his own disciples, and how much they conversed with him. They sat together joyfully eating puffed rice, coconut sweets, luchi, and various other sweets. At the sight of Narendra on this veranda, Sri Ramakrishna went into the state of ecstatic absorption, samadhi. The abode of bliss. Kali's home. I should say Kali's home is Kali Bari. You can say it can mean Kali temple, but Bari literally means home, and so there's an intimate. It's a very intimate way of saying like Kali temple, but it's literally it's Kali's home. So Kali's home has become the abode of bliss. There is daily worship of Radhakanta, Bhavatarani, and Mahadev, food offerings, etc., and the serving of guests. In one direction, the holy site of the Bhagirati, the Ganga, spans far into the distance. Also, there are the captivating flower gardens with their fragrant, beautiful, exceptional blossoms, colored in varied hues. In that place also there is an illumined person, who is day and night drunk with love of God. It is the blissful mother's unending celebration. From the Nahabat, ragas and raginis are ever playing. Once at dawn, the playing goes on at the time of morning arati. After that at 9 o'clock in the morning, when the worship begins. After that at noontime. Then after Bhog arati, the gods and goddesses go to take rest. Again at 4 o'clock, the music from the Nahabat continues to play. When, after the deities have had rest, they arise and are washing their faces. After that, once again during the evening. And at last, at 9 o'clock at night, when, after the nighttime food offering, the deities have laid down to sleep, then again the music from the Nahabat goes on playing. Jai.
All holy place containing, what is it?
For all holy places containing
Ganga.
sweetly murmuring Ganga. Jai. Thakur Jai Ma.